You're asking yourself, I've heard of Beyond Wonderland, but what is Beyond Wonderland at the Gorge? Stay tuned and we're going to go over all that. So, what is Beyond Wonderland at the Gorge, you're asking? I'm sure you've heard of Beyond Wonderland SoCal, Beyond Wonderland Bay Area, all these other ones. Well, the simple answer is Beyond Wonderland at the Gorge is kind of a souped up version of the SoCal Beyond Wonderland. Whereas the one down in Southern California now, which is the original one, takes place at the event center, which is kind of like a day festival, no camping or any of that. They've had it in the past, and they kind of went back and forth because of amphitheater situations. So this one is the second year they've done it here at the Gorge, and it is a full immersed camping experience. I mean, this thing is pretty awesome. So you get everything you'd get at Beyond Wonderland, the whole Alice in Wonderland, deep down the rabbit hole experience, but you get to camp along with it. And we're going to go over all of our experience there, me and my crews, right now. All right, so for beginners, where is it? And how do you get there? The Gorge is halfway between Seattle and Spokane. It's actually in Gorge, Washington, believe it or not. It's right on the corner of the river. Actually, it's right on the river. And it's kind of off the beaten path, but it's right off I-90. And you take a little detour, a couple miles, and you're there. It is basically the same distance from Spokane and Seattle if you were to fly in there. It's about 155 miles from Seattle and 137 from Spokane. Or if you want to drive like we did, over 20 hours to drive from the Midwest, Minnesota, all the way out there through the mountains. And it actually took way longer than that. So that was one heck of an experience. The differences between flying and driving, of course, is your gear. Because you got to set up all your own stuff. This isn't EDC camping where they have tents. You have to get them yourselves. So it's more recommended to drive if you're close enough. I mean, the drive we took was pretty extreme. I mean, we had 6 people, so it made more sense to drive with all the gear. But if you're coming in smaller parties, you probably want to fly and then maybe pick up the stuff you need on your way there from either location, whichever one ends up being cheaper. And you can buy some of the stuff at the festival itself, and it's not that overpriced, actually. It's actually pretty relatively well priced, and we'll go over that in the middle of the video here. So that is the campground from the sky. We threw a drone up there. Check out the area over here. This here is the gold. That area down below there is all the gold. That is your higher end. What is that? The Acorn, I believe it was. Yes, the Acorn Village. So that's where you're closest to the festival over here, because the festival is right up over, right up over that way in the far corner over there, where you see that little pond and all that. As far up as you can go, that is the actual amphitheater. So down here is your, I don't know, your bigger campsites. You get bigger campsites, you're closer, you get dedicated air-conditioned showers and bathrooms. If you go up to the big circle up there, the left side of that is your Cheshire Cove. which that's your middle ground one. That one there, it's kind of fenced in. It's got security on it, and you also get showers and stuff complimentary up there. It's obviously further to the festival itself, but they do provide shuttles for that, which this is kind of one of the weird little quirks to this festival that I feel like they need to kind of better on. Because, no, it's great for the premiere because you get to take the shuttle all the way down to the festival. But Gold has access to Premiere and GA, and Gold will have to walk up there. And why is that a problem? Well, up right in the middle of that circle is actually where all of the daily activities, the nighttime silent disco, and all the food vendors are all up there too. So it's, about a mile walk up there and back for the people down in Gold, because they didn't put any type of activities or food vendors down in the Gold area. So whereas the Acorn Village, you're actually paying more to be a bit closer to the festival, you actually have to walk further for everything else. And that's where we were at. We were down in the Gold. We had when you get there, they give you the, you have to wear a gold wristband the entire time, as well as your regular wristband, which we had VIP wristbands too. That's why it's maybe a different color than the ones you had if you went. But you have to have these on at all times to enter to move about the campgrounds or the festival. And then on the other side of that circle up there is your GA, which is your general admittance, and they don't get access to free showers. They have to pay. And then those little tents off to the left over there is the Oasis, which that is the Supreme camping. It's the Royal Shipyard. That's where you're given. They have tents already there with showers, air conditioning, all this stuff. You have special access, side access to the festival, and you have access to a special area of the main stage also. And then up on the cliffs up there is your terrace and your Queen's Ravine, which is the glamping ones, but there's only 4 of those, I think. So from our drone footage here, when you enter in the camp, you actually head straight ahead to where our campground was. And getting in, security was kind of non-existent. You showed up there and they had a dog running around. I think they were checking for bombs. Maybe it was drugs. We don't actually know. They just kind of sniffed around the car and then kept it moving back to the next car. None of this emptying out trunks and all that. Yeah, that little road up there to the left there is where you come in at if you're on Gold. If you're on Premiere or GA, it's the other side by the circle, further down the road. This is the RV and the Gold entrance. But yeah, no searching vehicles, none of that stuff. You just drove in, they asked how many people, showed them your wristbands, they gave you 6 of these ones, and you moved in, and then they directed you to your spot. And our campground was actually right there. The land over there, it's pretty cool. We got a lot of space. We were able to set up 2 tents and a full canopy, as well as the vehicle on there. We actually had enough room to put even more in there. As you can see off to my right over there, there is some porta potties over there, which they are actually insanely clean. Like, I've never seen cleaner restrooms. I think they were cleaning them every hour, every other hour, or something like that. It was pretty insane. And then behind me is showers and all that stuff. They're kind of scattered about. Yeah, our campground's the one gray tent there with the black van. Kind of going to land right on with the flag flowing around there. So yeah, it's kind of nice. You could set up your own little encampment. So moving on from that, here's our actual tent right there. It's set up pretty awesome. You got to flag it up immediately and get all your decorations up. And we were running power out of the van there to power anything we might have needed to. You didn't end up needing much of it, though. Other than charging your phones, everything's pretty legit. There's lights all over the place, so you don't really need flashlights or any of that stuff. It was pretty warm. In the evening, sleeping bag you were fine in. You were hot by morning. I think it was 60s and 70s the whole time. Drizzled one day, so it was pretty nice. Needed a hoodie one night. But I always recommend bringing those anyway. We go over to the map there. That is your standard camp map there. So the little acorns is the gold area. I don't really know what that owl's nest was. That we didn't really know what that was. That never really made a. There was no markers for that. It was just part of acorn. The little ship is that oasis thing I was talking about, and then up top is your premier is in the blue over there, and then the little fox is your GA, and then the camp center is where all the activities take place. So we're gonna go on a little walk up there, and we'll show you all this. I've sped it up to save time because it is a long walk. So we're going through gold right now, and you can see all the lights on the posts up there. I mean, the entire campground is lit at all times. So if you have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or whatever, go over to the activities or whatever you're doing, it's lit. I never once needed a flashlight or any of that. It was always well lit. There's obviously groomed roads here that lead all around there. And then there's a groomed path that'll come up here by the general store, which will take us up to the activities area. So this walk was done on day 0, so the pre-party day. That's why it's still kind of empty. I mean, it filled up a little ways after this. By the first day of the festival, it was pretty packed in here. So going over here is your general store, which is kind of dead in the center. It's pretty big. And we'll come back to this area in a bit and go over in depth what's in here. This is kind of giving a look here so you can buy sleeping bags and stuff in there. So now we're going along a little path here up to the common area. And to the right, there's a little road where the shuttles will come down, take premier folk to the festival and back. Long, long, long walk. Pretty, though. Very pretty walk. But it did take quite some time to get up here. And we did this every day, too. Because they had a lot of fun activities going on up at the Beyond, what do they call it? The festivities area, Beyond Activities Center. And they actually have a second general store right up here on the left there. That line was always very long, though. The one down below was definitely the better choice. As you can see, it's secured entrance and a fence all the way around. That's Cheshire to the left there. Ample bathrooms. To the right is all of the GA on the other side of the road there. There is no shelter, by the way. No coverage, trees, any of that stuff. So you definitely want to bring a canopy. As much as it is kind of takes up space in your vehicle or whatever, it is very, very necessary because it is the sun is out all the time, and yeah, it'll fry you if you don't have a little bit of coverage. And obviously sunscreen and all that good stuff too to make sure you're not getting burnt up and burnt out. Because this big line here is the pay showers for the GA folk. Now we're heading into the pivot, which is where all the food trucks and everything are. Which this place was pretty awesome. You could buy food. You could go into their shopping areas. You get your hair done. The first water station I came across was right there. Yeah, you can buy all types of fun stuff. There's tons of these little vendors all over, and there's some in the festival too. We'll go back there also, and then here comes the activities area. It's where the silent disco, and there's tons and tons and tons of stuff up in here. So for the activities now, we'll replay that little video here. They had tons of stuff going on there. They had a drag queen party. They had the pre-party. They had silent discos. They had the hookah lounge. They had a poker event going on in there all the time. They had cornhole and ping pong going on there. They had little activities where you could build your own wind chimes and your own terrariums and cups, and there was you could learn how to shuffle. You could even learn how to shuffle in there. They had a shuffling class for it. plus chess, huge chess set there, and then there's the was it the pool table, but it's the big size one. Yeah, they had an instructor down there to teach you. There was a couple of shuffling classes. Literally, people here, some of these people had never done it before, and they learned in the hour that they were out there with her. And the other stuff, like they had a glam station up there where you could get your face or hair done. They had yoga, build flowers. Oh, that's a little pressed flower thing. You know, those little holiday cards or whatever, birthday cards, whatever, that have all the pressed flowers on them. They taught us how to make that type of stuff there, which is actually quite a task. So hats off to the people who make those things for a living. It's pretty awesome. And then we will head back to the pivot now. This area here is where all the food and the activities took place. Or not activities, I'm sorry. Food and shopping took place. I mean, you had Frank's, you had Soul Barbecue, you had Mexican Grill, you had Asian Barbecue. You also had your ice cream and your standard pizza and stuff too, burritos. Then in the back, all the shopping, anything from, like I said, you could do hair, you could buy, they had little nasal shots, kind of calming shots. They had, you could buy tapestries, you could buy ears, outfits, fans, all types of stuff. I mean, you name it, you could buy it there, basically. And we'll head back down to the general store. So in here, yeah, you could buy tents. You could buy sleeping bags. I'd buy steaks. I bought a knife, a full big butcher knife, big long one there. You can buy food. You can buy beer. You can buy liquor. You can buy just about anything you need here. They had inflatable air mattresses even. So like if you didn't bring your tent and gear, you could actually buy it all here, which I wouldn't recommend, at least not the tent. I would recommend you buy that ahead of time, because if you get here and don't have one, you're kind of in trouble if they're sold out of them. They had folding chairs. They had, they just had all types of cool stuff in there. Then all over the place, they had med tents, those big medical flags over there. They had them all over the place. They were very, very easy to find if you ever needed one. Then down here, the gold bathrooms. Those were air-conditioned bathrooms. They also had the porta potties out there, too. And to the right of that there was the showers, which anyone who's been to EDC before knows what these things are like. You go in, there's 6 to 12 stalls where you could shower and change and all that stuff. Okay, now we're going to go into the festival itself. So on the first day there, campers got access to a pre-party. You got to get in there. The one stage was open, the Cheshire stage was open, and these guys are playing. You could kind of explore a little bit, but the main stages were closed. You couldn't even get back to them. So, I mean, you walk in and, yeah, they have beautiful decorations. It's like you're in Alice in Wonderland. I mean, mushrooms, chess pieces, little guards running around. They had tons of actors running around in fun outfits. You have your standard Ferris wheel, and behind me is more vendors for shopping. I mean, flowers and mushrooms and cool lights and awesome effects. That's the Cheshire Wood stage. That was kind of your hard bass stage. Quite loud, quite awesome. Very, very nicely set up. And there's VIP areas at both places. There's the nighttime stuff right there. Everything was lit up like that. It was really, 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 really cool. They carved the bushes into chess pieces. I mean, this was a pretty well thought out festival. I actually really enjoyed this. And back to the lineup. I mean, it was pretty extensive. Pretty big big lineup. Lots of big names there. I mean, it was the festival map itself. So for the first day, you only had access to basically the right half of that map. And then the next day, first day, you had access to everything, which we're going to walk through that right now. But I mean, you had your VIP areas, you had your 3 stages, the vendor village, the food and beverages all over the place, which they had really, really good food. I was actually pretty impressed with that stuff. Tour itself, you're coming in the gate, which that security gate, that's kind of a hit or miss thing too. One day, I mean, we got checked. The next day, alarms went off and they just waved us through anyway, so no searching. I didn't have to empty my bag ever for water or anything like that. My friends had an issue with vapes. First day they found hers. The second and third day, nothing, so she didn't have to bring unsealed ones in. I mean, so it's kind of depends upon who you go to. On the way up here, this is on the way to the main stage. So the first descent here into the actual amphitheater. Beautiful into the gorge there. And they had vendors and food all over the place. The main hill. You kind of see through most of the festival there, and to the left there's the Caterpillar stage. And lots of food. Drinks, and then up to the left here is the VIP garden, which we'll go into that in just a moment here. On the main stage, actually had this really cool hidden stage. It was, you could go behind the main stage here and look out into the gorge. Plus, you can see the DJs and stuff from backstage and hang out with some of these actors. Like those little mouse girls came back and hung out with everybody. Yeah, you could get up and go up to the upper deck here. Behind the stage itself. So you're looking there, backstage of the DJ, you get to see how everything was made, and then out into the gorge. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff. The main stage was awesome. There was some acoustical problems, however. There was heavy bleed over from the Caterpillar stage onto Fractal Valley, the main stage. So that's an issue they're probably going to have to figure out how to resolve. I think there was just something not blocking it, because, I mean, from where we're sitting in the shot right there, we're dead center, and we can hear the other stage quite loudly, kind of drowning out this main stage. Once you're down in front of the main stage, down in the pit area where we were most of the time, it is sounds good down there. But up here, there was a lot of bleed over from one of the stages. But other than that, I mean, it was actually really, really well done. I mean, I was pretty impressed. I mean, the people were complaining about the VIP garden being a little too big. I mean, it was, but I mean, also this isn't EDC. It's not packed wall to wall with people. I mean, there's a lot of space between everybody. So it's not as big of a deal to have a bigger lounge area. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, there was not a lot of downsides to this thing. I mean, the food, we averaged $6 to $20. I mean, I didn't have any issues with that. Red Bull, still $4, which is awesome. Drinks, yeah, they're spendy. It's $8 to $22 right there. Your sodas, your beer, your merch, which that's always up there. And water is always free, or $6 if you are the ones who don't like to drink the free water. Don't know why, but you definitely could do that. Now the big question, is VIP worth it? So you have a dedicated area on each stage, and I do have a walkthrough for this, but each stage is the two smaller stages, if you call them smaller, are off to the sides of it. You can see pretty well. Then there is the VIP garden, which is in front of Fractal Valley, but it's actually off to the far side, and you can't really see the stage that well from there. You can see from a distance, but you couldn't barely see an artist at all because you're super far back. But it was still pretty cool because you can hang out there, and they had fun stuff going on in there. And they also had a glam bar. You could set up glitter up and everything. They had all the stuff set up there for people to go in there. And VIP was the only way you could go in and out of camp freely. If you weren't VIP, you could not go out and come back in. I was told by people that other people did from GA and GA Plus, but that wasn't what was listed, and I wouldn't have banked on that. We had to scan out each time. Little RF thing on here. You could scan in and out. And full experience here. We'll go to the stages here and show you guys what it's like there. I think VIP would definitely be the way to go if you buy them like right when the tickets come out, when the prices are still pretty low on them. Because I think when I got mine, I think it was like $250 or something like that for VIP tickets. But I know by the end it was like $329 or some higher cost. I mean, let's see. Right now they're at VIP right now is $299. GA is $199. GA plus $249. Which GA plus gets you basically nothing. I would not recommend that to anybody. It's just do the VIP if you're gonna do anything but GA. I mean, VIP is nice because you can kind of lounge and hang out, and there's tables to lean on in this Cheshire one here. That last one, the Caterpillar one, they actually had a full candy station. You could build candies, trade them out. And here's the gardens, which was huge. See, that's how far back from the stage you are. That fence is the front of it there. And yeah, I mean, there's cool little tea parties and stuff in there, and drink stations and all that good stuff up in there. So if I'm going to say GA plus or VIP, I would go with VIP 100%. I mean, GA is cool. I mean, GA is going to be a fun time if you want to go. But if you want the extra added perks plus the for sure ability to go in and out of the festival back to your campsite, which I had to one night. Got cold, had to run back for the hoodie. Definitely came in handy for that. So that is my recommendation. If I were to grade this bad boy here, I'd probably give it a B. Solid B because of the sound problems. There's a lot of issues with that and the whole camping thing with the activities being super far away. Because, I mean, at night you come back, they had a silent disco going on from festival. I think was done at 1:30 every night, and they had a silent disco all the way up till 4 a.m. But you had to walk a mile plus one way to get there because even though Gold has access to the entire camping area, we weren't allowed to use the shuttles. So we had to walk up there if we wanted to go and walk all the way back, at 4:30 in the morning. And it was, it's kind of a hassle. So I think they need to add something down in the Gold area, especially if they're charging that much more money for that location. And add some food vendors down there. But I mean, otherwise, this was a solid festival. I mean, definitely one of the best for a smaller festival. Great camping experience. Lots of fun and nice people. Lots of cool actors. Lots of great artists were there. And I mean, yeah, it's just an awesome time. And I highly recommend everyone check it out. The Gorge is beautiful. The sunset is something you're not going to see anywhere else. And yeah, if anyone's interested in Beyond Wonderland at the Gorge or Base Canyon or Millennium or Above and Beyond or anything else that's at the Gorge, I would check those out also. But for Beyond Wonderland specifically, definitely go and check it out. And I'll be doing other videos for how to prepare for this trip and other trips in the future coming up here. All right, thank you everyone for listening. I hope this was helpful, and leave some comments below and subscribe if you like this.